Munchies, welcome if you're new and welcome back if you're not. I am so happy you're here either way, and I think you will be too because I have got a treat for you. We are going all in on pumpkin season, but the treats I am sharing with you today aren't only pumpkin, they are also low carb and vegan, meaning dairy-free, egg-free, and they're also gluten-free. Say what? To be honest, I am really excited to share this because the recipes really took some time to develop and figure out. It isn't easy to do vegan and keto, but it can be done. And Thrive Market made this video possible. I have partnered with them before and I'm so grateful. If you don't know, Thrive Market is an online marketplace with a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everyone, and they do an amazing job. I got a ton of the products I'm using today from them, and I've got a deal where you can get an extra 25% off your purchase and a 30-day free trial with my link in the description. I'll tell you more about it at the end. Let's start today off with a bang. The most requested vegan and keto recipe this season, pumpkin pie. Can it be done? Now it can. Let's start with the crust. First, I make a flax egg by combining ground flaxseed and some water, and let it sit for about 10 minutes until it's goopy. Then I get my food processor and add almond flour, which is my first Thrive Market product. It is only one ingredient, as it should be, and honestly, it is less expensive than any of my local grocery stores. I do find that Thrive Market prices tend to be more affordable. They intentionally offer thousands of organic and natural products at 25 to 50% below retail prices. I also add coconut oil, that flax egg, sweetener of choice, which is optional. Some people don't like to sweeten pie crusts. I like just a small hint. And salt, which should definitely not be omitted for a pie crust. I pulse that until the dough sticks together when pressed, and I press it into a pie plate. Feel free to crimp the edges if desired. I do blind bake the crust, so I add some holes with a fork, and then I add parchment and either dry rice or beans since I don't have pie weights. Into the oven it goes for just a few minutes until it's lightly cooked and golden. Some people don't pre-bake crusts, but I always do for custard pies, even though this isn't technically a custard pie because it's vegan, so there are no eggs. I find it still helps the crust to crisp up and not get soggy. Once that's out, I let it sit for a good 20 to 30 minutes or longer before adding the filling. The filling is made in the food processor or blender, which couldn't be easier. I have got pumpkin puree from Thrive Market, as well as coconut cream or full-fat coconut milk, sweetener of choice, pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, salt, and vanilla extract. Now, usually a traditional pumpkin pie has eggs, but this is vegan and it's egg-free. Most vegan pumpkin pies use cornstarch, but that is quite a stretch for keto. Instead, I am using glucomannan. It's a dietary fiber made from the root of the cognac plant, but it's far less dense in calories and carbs than cornstarch, and you need much less of it. Thrive Market actually had this on their site in powder form, so I could easily get it too. You can use cornstarch instead, but you'll need over a quarter cup instead of under 2 teaspoons. The cognac in this recipe only adds about 5 grams of carbs total because we need so little, whereas using a quarter cup of cornstarch adds 30 grams total. Glucomannan or cognac is also not a bad addition because it's shown to help reduce cholesterol, blood sugar levels, and blood pressure. Pretty neat. Okay, once that is all blended, I let it sit for about 10 minutes to thicken slightly. Then we add it to the cooled and blind baked crust and tap to release any air bubbles. Bake until it's set and slightly jiggly in the center. It should not be poofy. If the crust is browning too much, you can cover it with foil or a pie crust protector. Cool it completely at room temperature before refrigerating, and then let it sit overnight if possible before eating it. Wow, it literally tastes like pumpkin pie. You would never know. I looked up pumpkin pie recipes that are keto and vegan before developing this recipe, and I could not find one. It is hard to do both, plus pumpkin is hard for low carb since it's mostly carbs. But this is only 4 grams of net carbs per slice, so it's probably about as low as you can go for pumpkin pie. We all need a little pie this time of year, and I am so proud of it and so excited to share it with you now. I hope you can give it a try. Feel free to whip up a little coconut whipped cream for the topping to kick it up a notch. Okay, next up, probably the second most requested keto and vegan option, pumpkin cheesecake. I am doing mini bites because mini is adorable and portion control and overall just more fun to eat. The crust starts in the food processor with a mix of almonds and pumpkin seeds, which I got from Thrive Market. I pulse those until they're ground into small pieces and then add coconut oil, sweetener, and salt. Blend until you get a sticky dough and press it into your molds. I only needed about 1 teaspoon for these silicone molds, which I will link below. They make for easy removal, but you could totally use another mold too if you prefer. The crusts go into the fridge and I make the filling. Now, let's chat. Vegan cheesecake. Well, cheesecake without cream cheese is tough. There are dairy-free cream cheese options, but many have more ingredients than I really want in them. A lot of vegan cheesecakes use cashews, but cashews are really not very keto friendly because they are one of the nuts that's actually highest in carbs. So I thought, why not macadamia nuts? They are much lower in carbs and one of the ultimate keto nuts in my opinion. I got raw macadamia nuts from Thrive Market. It's awesome that they sold them raw because it can be hard to find, and I soaked them overnight to soften. The next day, I drain them and I add to a food processor with pumpkin puree, coconut butter, coconut oil, sweetener to taste, lemon juice, pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, and salt. Let her rip. Go until it gets super smooth and creamy and adjust the flavor, so the sweetness, the salt, and the cinnaminess to your liking. That mixture gets spooned on top of the crusts, and in my molds, a 4-teaspoon cookie scoop worked perfectly for these. Then I just level them off, and I like to top them with either a pecan half or some pumpkin seeds for cuteness. And it's off to the freezer to set. Once frozen, we can pop them out of the molds and thaw before serving. These taste like the holidays, and it is certainly a deceiving cheesecake. It's got that salty sweet bite with a hit of tang and great textures, the thicker crunchy crust with the softer cheesy list filling, and these bites only have 1 gram of net carbs per serving. Okay, the last one I've got for you today is a fun remake inspired by the new Starbucks drink, the pumpkin spice cold brew. Oh my gosh, if you haven't had it yet, it is time. But really, it's not time because the time has come for you to make it yourself, the vegan and keto-friendly edition. I first combined cold brew with water because typically it's a concentrate and you have to dilute it. I got this Califia cold brew on Thrive Market and I am a fan of that ingredients list. I also got this Califia barista blend on Thrive Market. I've seen the regular version in the store, but I have not been able to find it unsweetened. Thank you, Thrive Market. Seriously, whether you are vegan, keto, paleo, gluten-free, raw, whatever, you can shop by whatever dietary preferences and health values you want on the Thrive Market website and then make it so easy to filter through it all. So separate from the cold brew, we make the foam. I add that Califia barista blend with a small bit of pumpkin puree for pumpkin flavor, along with pumpkin pie spice, glucomannan, which is our magic thickener yet again, and a pinch of salt. Feel free to add stevia drops or a sweetener of choice if you want this to be a sweet drink. Use a frother or immersion blender to get those ingredients frothed up. Go for 2 to 3 minutes, let it sit for a minute, and then go again, and it will thicken and hold its foamy form. You can pour it right on top of that cold brew and it stays. It's amazing, beautiful, and tasty. Smooth, creamy, and has so much holiday flair. You can use regular almond milk, but the barista blend specifically is made to froth up and steam better. And that is my pumpkin recipes for 2019 video. Vegan, keto, egg-free, dairy-free, gluten-free edition. What am I gonna do next year to top that? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can take a few minutes to browse Thrive Market's offerings because they have everything. Food and snacks, yes, but also vitamins, supplements, personal care products, eco-friendly cleaning supplies, non-toxic beauty products, kitchen staples, home goods, kids and baby goods. It goes on, and I highly recommend checking it out. Use my link in the description so that you can get an extra 25% off your first purchase and a free 30-day trial. So that's 25% off the already lowered prices. Plus, when you become a member, the company's Thrive Gives initiative also helps out low-income families, teachers, and veterans so that they can have access to natural, organic, and non-GMO foods too. If you're already a member, don't forget to check Thrive Market's homepage for today's extra deal. They have daily gifts and discounts when you sign up. How cool is that? I appreciate you being here. I will see you next week for a brand new episode, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.